this coming Thursday, after almost 3 years of not performing locally, Pretty Yende, internationally acclaimed South African-born soprano, will perform for local audiences in a one-night-only appearance at the Linder Auditorium in Parktown. The much-anticipated concert will see Yende joined by another one of our award-winning South African rising stars of the opera, Levy Sekgapane. Well, let's just get straight into chatting to Pretty once again. It's not often that we get to get you in studio, so we're taking full advantage of getting to have a conversation
very
with you. One of the things that people have said after our interview was, one night only, it's not enough. We need to see more of you. Do you have any other plans to come back? I mean, I know I'm asking you ahead of one show, but anything else?
Absolutely. I think with the schedule being based also overseas, it has all just got also full internationally, that each time I come back home on holiday, I take the chance of having the one night onlys. And I'm hoping that it won't be a norm. It will be actually planned performances in Johannesburg and Cape Town, as well as in Durban. So I'm hoping that this won't be just a norm. I would actually have planned well in advance concerts also in South Africa, because home is important to me just as much as internationally things are going.
You've obviously still got your family that are staying in Piet Retief. Have you got a big family?
Absolutely. We are 4, 2 brothers and a sister, and my mom and my dad are still in Piet Retief. Actually, I came from Piet Retief just last week. So home is still in Piet Retief, and it's important for me to be home as often as I can, so that I can fill up and go back. And
what was your family? I mean, what was it like growing up in Piet Retief? I mean, you wouldn't, especially trying to break into the world of opera. I mean, of all the genres of music, I can imagine it was it quite difficult for you sort of to convince your family to follow this passion, to get training? I mean, you know, Piet Retief in Mpumalanga is not a big place.
Not at all. And I mean, especially because I had no idea about classical music at the time. So growing up like a normal girl who had dreams of being an accountant, and school was normal, you know, in the Ndela High School. And then suddenly I see this ad on TV and a new world opens up. And it was as foreign to me as it was for my parents or the school itself. And so for that young girl to say, I want to find out more about this kind of music, was something that I could not actually stop myself, because the seed was already planted in my soul. And so pushing through with not even having the enough resources, you know, we did not have music education in my school, so it was not given as a subject. So everything was new, but the tenacity and the courage and the determination of finding out this world was all that mattered at the time.
Your discovery, how did it come about? I mean, who heard you singing? How did this international career of yours take off?
Well, it started also in schools, because then the Department of Education introduced opera to schools, and I was one of the school's choristers for the Tirisano schools I set for at the time, and that actually allowed me to go and further my studies in Cape Town Opera School. And then from there onwards, I was curious about this whole new world of opera, and I found out that to make it big, you need to go overseas. So I wanted to go overseas and be with young people who knew about it before me, and see if it was all worth it. And that big competition I won in Vienna at the Belvedere opened up all the doors that I could ever even imagine.
So that was really the beginning and the start. The very first time I heard you, I mean, besides the fact that you know, I'd heard of you, but listening to you live was at Andrea Bocelli's concert here in South Africa. I think you were the opening act. But let me tell you something, he should have been the opening act for you. That's how passionately I felt about it. My husband and I sat there blown away by you and your voice, and how you just captured the audience, and the whole audience were blown away by you. Your success here in South Africa, I mean, are people, do we appreciate opera, or is it still a growing appreciation?
I think it's a growing appreciation, but there's such an avalanche of talent locally, and my journey, my pretty journey, which I'm able to share with my fans at Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, we all see the possibility of what South Africa has and what South Africa can actually, you know, present internationally, especially with the classical genre. And so I believe that now we are all trying to get overseas, but in a few years' time, the world will be coming down to South Africa because there's such a wealth of talent.
That's fantastic. I love it. I think it's a great note to end this interview. Pretty, it's been an honor having you here and just having you back in South Africa and us having the bragging rights to claim you as our own, even though you're taking over the world, which is a great thing and you deserve it. So Pretty Yende, one night only in Johannesburg at the Linder Auditorium. When I asked about an hour ago, there were still tickets available. I got a feeling they might just have been sold out this morning on your performance. We've got another performance coming your way, so don't go anywhere.